Oh my god, Emily, are we gonna get beat up? Because we're breaking the first 2 rules of Fight Club.
Honestly,
doing a whole podcast about Fight Club is probably like
sin.
the most offensive way to break rules 1 and 2. Also, we're just not fucking dicks.
Yeah.
You can say the words Fight Club. No, Brad Pitt's not gonna come after you.
I was gonna
wish.
say,
Oh my god, Fight Club,
oh
Fight
god.
Club.
You look at in the mirror like and say it 5 times, and Brad Pitt pops up behind you,
and he's like sweaty and like a little jostled up.
Oh no!
Yeah, okay. Wait, okay, I was just about to say something, but I'm gonna say we usually address that this podcast is a spoiler-full zone. We're gonna talk about the movie, but if you've never seen Fight Club and you have 1 ounce of desire in yourself to watch it at any point in your life, stop this podcast right now, because there's like a big spoiler twist thing that we're clearly gonna talk about a lot, and for me, I knew it, and it ruined, like, if you know that it's coming, it's like the Sixth Sense, right? It's if you know the big twist about the Sixth Sense, that Haley Joel Osment sees dead people, the whole movie is just, why bother, right? And that's why I've always felt about Fight Club, I was like, why bother? I know the big twist. So, if you don't want to know the twist, then you get the fuck out. But if you either don't give a shit or already know it, then you can stay. But they are the same guy. Ooh. Whoa, crazy. They were the same guy the whole time.
Who would have thought?
But yeah, this was the first time I had ever seen this movie. And I had purposefully never watched it because I was like, I know the thing, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, see, this is the second time I've watched the movie, and I kind of wish I didn't. I kind of wish I just ripped this, having only seen it the first time. Because here's the thing, and you and I were talking right before we started recording. I don't like Fight Club. There, I said it. I feel like you either love it or you hate it. And there's so many people that are so into movies that I feel like just say they like it because they're like, oh, it's Fincher, oh, it's Fight Club, oh, it's iconic. No, I don't like this movie.
And that was the whole purpose. So this is Male Manipulator March, and our whole purpose of this theme is we felt like shit was getting a little too chummy. We were getting a little too comfortable talking about movies that we just love a lot. So we're like, let's talk about movies that shitty men love, and we're just gonna kind of rip on them, because I didn't think this movie was as insufferable as I thought it was going to be, basically. I was like, oh, this is going to be like 2.5 hours of me groaning. And there were parts that I didn't hate and that I found to be interesting and intriguing and that I like didn't see coming. But for the most part, I'm just like rolling my eyes. Funny that you say that you don't like this, though, because you do have it ranked as 4 stars on Letterboxd, which I was really thought we were going to be at odds here. Because when I logged it in, I was like, oh, Emily really likes this movie? Interesting.
I definitely liked it better the first time I watched it, having not known the twist.
The thing.
And but like now it just felt kind of like work to watch, honestly. Which it's also like David Fincher. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think the pacing in this movie fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. But that's just Fincher.
I could edit. When I feel like I could edit a film myself, if I'm like, give me the raw footage and I could make this under 2 hours, that's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I genuinely have a handful of scenes where I'm like, cut it. The movie's the same. Like, literally the whole thing stays the same.
For me, being 35, maybe 40 minutes in, and then seeing Tyler Durden show up, and I was like, God damn it, this is gonna be a fucking ride, isn't it?
And it's a bummer, because I, like, usually am a Fincher fan.
Yeah, I love Fincher.
Can suck my ass. Mank can suck my ass. This movie, I think, is just overhyped. I think it's a good movie, but I think that the culture around it, and it just, like, is overhyped and, like, parodied in media to the point where you literally don't have to watch it. Like, you don't have to
I just think
it.
There's so many better Finchers.
Seven. Literally the whole time I was like, I wish I was watching Seven. Right? The whole time this was on. As I was like, Brad Pitt, take this, like, whatever get up, the fashion I love, the style icon Tyler Durden, but I was like, go put on your fucking cop uniform, get over with Morgan Freeman, and go fucking solve some crimes. Like, that's what I want from you. I don't want this. And Ed Norton is fine.
I feel like that's just Ed Norton. You know what I mean? It's just Ed Norton.
Yeah, he's fine. But I guess, do we want to do a little recap? This movie is so long, and I think you can summarize the plot in 4 sentences.
Yeah, do you want to give it a shot?
Ready? No extraneous details. A guy whose name we don't know, but is played by Ed Norton, lives a very mundane life that he is so satisfied with. And then he meets Brad Pitt, aka Tyler Durden, on an airplane, and he rocks his whole world. And then his apartment gets blown up, and who could it have done it? It was definitely Brad Pitt. And then he goes to live with Brad Pitt in his rundown house. They start a fight club where men go into the basement of a bar and beat the shit out of each other, and then it turns into like a fashy dude bro cult where they're like, we're not just gonna fight each other, we're gonna do domestic terrorism. And Jared Leto's there. And then at the end, they're like, we're gonna blow up all the credit card companies so that the world has no more debt, because that's how math works, right? And then there's a big reveal that that Tyler Durden is a figment of Ed Norton's imagination, and that he's this like alter ego, hypermasculine, god complex figure, basically, who's been like dictating his life, and everything that Tyler's done has actually been Ed Norton. Woo, that's the film.
Yeah, no, I think that was brilliantly summed up. Yeah, going back to like the culture around this film, I feel like it's just one of those things, like I end up almost like feeling stupid after watching it because I don't like it. I'm like, I must be missing something. I must be missing something and not, like, picking up on something. But then I realize it's like, no, I just don't like this fucking movie.
It's totally like, you can't... Yeah, no matter what you say about it, you're wrong. Because if you like it, then you didn't get it. But if you don't like it, you still didn't get it. So I feel like any criticisms I have of this, I, like, feel like I can conjure up, like, what Fight Club stan would, like, rebuttal me with, right? Because, like, I feel like anything you say about this, you can just make the argument of, like, well, no, they did that on purpose, and it's ironic, and it's a commentary. So, actually, you know what I mean? Like, I was talking to Henry before this about how, like, it feels kind of, like, cheesy to me to do a big, like, anti-capitalist, anti-consumerism statement movie and have Brad Pitt be the main, you know, which, you're like, getting a A-list actor. But then you can be like, oh, but that was on purpose. They did that on purpose so they could be about, like, irony or whatever. Which is just like, okay,
mind
fine.
You, like, 90% of the marketing for this was done, like, just with the fact that Brad Pitt was in the movie. Because Fincher was like, oh, I don't want it to, like, be a whole big, like, marketing thing, because it is, like, whole, like, anti-capitalist and all that shit. But then it's just like, oh, well, Brad's here. But
yeah, you're gonna make, like, a multi-million-dollar budget movie, and it's gonna be, like, a criticism on consumerism. Like, yeah, okay. But again, anyone can flip that and then be like, well, actually, you just don't understand it. So I feel like you have to just watch this movie, like, head empty, no thoughts.
Exactly.
Just like, this, I gotta reclaim it. It's gotta be for the girls. This is just about me ogling over Brad Pitt's, like, lower hip area. That's all this did for me.
Makes me want to be in a bimbo era for myself. Like, I want to be a bimbo watching this. If me not getting this movie or not liking this movie makes me stupid, fine. I don't care. I'm here, like you said, to look at Brad Pitt sweaty and shirtless, and then just to, like, lick the screen when Helena Bonham Carter comes on.
HBC, what? Like, I will say Jared Leto's the jump scare. Jared Leto's the jump scare of this film.
He was
but, like, what the fuck is that about? But I didn't realize she was in this. So when she popped up on my screen, I was like, oh, something redeeming's gonna happen. I'm gonna like this. That's the thing about Helena Bonham Carter, is you always know her hair is gonna go crazy. Like, I just like seeing her on my TV screen, because I'm like, your hair is just an entity of itself that I can just look at.
Outstanding. Every time.
But her whole character, I just like, didn't really care what happened to anybody. I was like, I just don't. And here's the thing, is I don't think I, like, didn't get it. I think I can't claim that I didn't get it. I fucking got it. I just still didn't
That's
like
why
it.
I,
like, I understood what they were trying to do here. A big anti-consumer critique on, like, toxic masculinity. Like, I get it. It's the guys who like Fight Club because it's violent are, like, part of the reason why Fight Club is a critique. You know what I mean? Like, dude bros who love Fight Club are part of the problem. But what does it say about your film that you're, like, doing this really heavy-handed critique of toxic masculinity, and a bunch of toxic dude bros loved your film?
Yeah, well, I think that's just toxic dude bros not being able to think critically about a movie, which is the same thing of, like, American Psycho, and how, like, so many guys like that movie and everything like that, and it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to later this month, but... Yeah, no, it's just one of those things.
It's another one. I just...
Not excited.
But interestingly, this is based off of a Chuck Palahniuk book, and I haven't read Fight Club, but I've read a couple of his other books, and I do really like his stuff. Fight Club is his most famous book, but he's got a lot of other... They're all very similar in, like, tone. They are always some sort of, like, you know, big societal critique, a little bit violent, a little bit gritty. I don't know. But so I've read some of his other stuff, and I really like it. But can we talk about the homoeroticism in this movie? Because
this is a queer film.
Anyone wants to... This is... Right, let's reclaim Fight Club for the gays, because if anyone wants to argue that this is not, like, a homoerotic, like, entity, Chuck Palahniuk is a gay man. A gay man wrote this book. So it's... And in the book, I was, like, reading up on, like, what some of the key differences were from the book to the movie. Because the movie does very much feel like his writing style, sort of, like, very plain
he
narrative, like, wow,
he said that he thinks this movie, like, actually... Like, a lot of people, I feel like, or writers will be like, okay, the movie is not as good as my book. But, like, I think he said that, like, no, the movie, like... It is better than my book. Or maybe it isn't better on my book, but it expounds on things, like, better. You know what I mean?
And a ton of the dialogue is straight from the book. Like, they took pages and pages of dialogue from Fight Club and then just made the actors say it. Like, they did not really tweak too much about this. But in the movie, the two of them meet on an airplane. And in the book, they meet at a nude beach. And it's just, like, them, like... fucking jerking each other out. Like, not actually, but just...
Metaphorically.
You know, and Norton being like, oh my god, Brad Pitt's cock is so fucking huge. I love this guy. He's God, basically. So it's like, I don't know. If anyone wants to argue that this movie isn't gay, it
is gay.
It's so gay.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing, is that Chuck said that the entire thing is basically a love triangle. That's the whole plot.
Right, and that's such a fun way to look at it. I don't think enough people are watching Fight Club with, like, that mentality. This is a fucking rom-com. This is a rom-com.
Can someone make the trailer for Fight Club as a rom-com?
Oh, I bet that's been done. I should try to find that. That would be so fucking funny. I know the DVD features, like, when you bought the DVD to Fight Club, the opening, like, menu page was for Never Been Kissed, starring Drew Barrymore. Funny. And, like, everyone thought that they had, like, got the wrong DVD, but once you hit play, it is Fight Club. But basically, it's the whole, like, we're not going to talk about it thing. So it's like, it's just going to be the landing page to some rom-com, basically, and that's just going to be the landing page for the film, which I think is so fucking really funny. Neat. I think that's something we've really lost. I think I talked about this really heavy-handedly on our Robots episode, because I watched it on DVD, and as, like, a streaming culture, we're really missing out on... just that little tidbit of experience you get when you watch a DVD that is the landing page with, like, the bonus feature button. Like, I don't know. Kids growing up these days are not getting the Shrek American Idol bonus feature sequence.
It's a fucking
well, maybe they are, but kids these days, technology, am I right?
You mentioned Jared Leto's jump scare, but my jump scare was Meatloaf in this movie.
Meatloaf!
Yeah,
Rest in peace to Meatloaf, who died earlier this year. This is our second Meatloaf film that we're covering. We're a Meatloaf-centric pod here. He's so good. He's so good in this.
Oh, it was great.
And I don't know why they made him wear that fat suit and gave him, like, enlarged, like, male breasts. Like, that was really weird and felt, like, out of place, but, like, I guess this is happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I could say.
But he was the guy that I was like, no, don't get tangled up in this shit. Meatloaf, you're better than this.
His fucking brains fall onto the floor later. Not. It was great. Poor Meatloaf.
No, it's still Jared Leto for me. What's his name? Like, Angel Boy?
I don't know.
Pretty
Something
Boy?
like that.
Like some, like, bleached blonde fucking
and eyebrows,
spiked hair.
like, fully. Yeah, no.
Right. whack. But the only thing, I don't like seeing Jared Leto on my screen, but I do like seeing him get the shit beat out of him. So that was like fine.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of lines that made me cringe in this movie, but the one that like really did it was like Ed Norton post like beating him to basically death, going and he's saying, "I felt like breaking something beautiful," or some shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Just give each other hickeys at that point. Just like literally just sit around and suck each other off, please. Like it would make
It'd be easier for everyone.
Start a book club. Start a fucking book club.
Yeah, one other thing that really stood out to me about this, and I'm just riffing off of the fucking IMDb page at this point, but it was that one thing they changed from the book to the movie is the basically the instructions on like how to make a bomb, which is in the book, which is like all like it goes into like everything you need to sort of make fucking dynamite and all that shit. And like that's the one thing they changed like from book to movie. They were like, maybe we should probably not tell everyone how to make a bomb. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, ages later, thank God, because of the people that see this movie and the ones that do idolize this. I'm like, yeah, that was good of you. Don't tell them how to make a bomb.
Let's not enable toxic dude bros to do violence. But yeah, and I guess now we're just verbatim reading fun facts from IMDb. But I will continue.
That's my research.
That Tyler Durden is way more violent in the books. He just like straight up murders people sometimes. And in this, I feel like they make it a big point to have him be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill anyone. I'm just gonna blow up buildings." Yeah. You know, like I think the closest he comes to actually like straight up murdering anyone is
the gun to
that guy he holds at gunpoint, and then he's like, "Go follow your dreams," which was kind of funny.
Yeah, right.
Just like,
yeah, no, there was a lot that needed to be changed. Like, not even like from book to movie, but I know like in post and everything like that. And like, I think it was Fox that distributed this or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. One of the big fucking companies putting this out. There's a lot of material that they were like, we don't know if we could do that. We don't know if we could put that in or whatever. And one of the ones, it was like, it was that line where, what is it? Marla says it after her and Tyler have fucked. And she's like, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school or something like that. But it was the way that came about was because David Fincher had another line in it, and it said, "I want to have your abortion." Instead. And they were like, "Hey, David, here's the thing, is we don't really like that line." And he was like, okay, here's the thing, here's what I'll do, I'll cut you a deal, is I will change that line, but I'm not gonna tell, but the next line that I put in is what I'm keeping in, you can't change that one. And they said, okay, good, fine. And he put, "I haven't been fucked like that since grade school" in. And they were even more mad about that one. And he's like, nope, we made a deal.
They're like, I'll accept child fucking, but I draw the line
at abortion,
at a woman's right to choose.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, there was a lot in this movie that just, or at least on the fucking fun facts page that really stood out to me was that. And then I remember thinking this while I was watching it, and then like reading about it later. I was like, how long did Helena and Brad Pitt have to be in the fucking booth just absolutely feral moaning and screaming? And as it turns out, it was 3 days of recording just that.
What? I'm obsessed with that. I want to be the sound technician who is like, "Helena, a little more breathy this time. A little more obnoxious." Yeah.
Longer and louder.
Were like, that was a lot. A little more nasally.
And Brad, with your chest, bud. With your chest. I feel like you're not giving us your all. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But honestly, could you imagine being paid to do that? That'd be so fun. I wish.
Right, yeah. And to listen to 3 days worth of audio track, and they're like, we need to find the best 45 seconds of this. I'm like, yes, I'm on it. Don't you worry. I've got my favorites already bookmarked. Why the fuck is there so much, like, bad CGI in this movie?
Because it was 1999.
Did that bother you? But why? They were doing CGI of stuff that did not need... The opening of this movie is literally fucking Osmosis Jones of, like, CGI, like, Jimmy Neutron getting a brain blast or, like, traveling through the human body system. But it was 1999, so they did not have the tech to pull that off. That fucking rubbed me the wrong way. There was also parts where they were, like, zooming around Ed Norton's apartment really fast that they did in CG, and it just looked like fucking shit. Why was that penguin there? Why was there fucking Mumble the penguin from a Happy
I feel like
Feet?
I don't remember what you're talking about.
The penguin? The whole sequence about the penguin. There was a fucking CGI penguin who has at least 15 minutes of screen time in this movie. You're looking at me like I'm cracked. Maybe
Did I watch like a different version of this movie? Like,
do you not remember there's the penguin and he's in the like cancer support group and they're like, we're gonna do a guided meditation and you need to find your power animal, and he's like in an ice cave and there's a penguin and then he like whispers to the penguin and he's like, slide, and then the penguin like slides down the ice tube, and
I think this was literally the 5 minutes that I left the room while I was watching this.
No, because it comes up throughout the film that whenever he needs to like go to his happy place, he like
I know the ice
mentally
cave.
becomes
I know
this
the ice
penguin.
cave.
Yeah, and then Marla's in there some of the time, and then because now she's the penguin, she's his power animal, which is like a whole again, just like the whole thing could have been cut. It was fucking stupid, but there was this jank ass CGI penguin.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at the CGI penguin because for some reason, that did not even register in my brain. Maybe I was too busy looking at the fucking IMDb facts or some shit. I have no idea.
Oh my god.
But no, in the ice cave, they actually... I'm just ripping it. The ice cave scene, though, now that you're talking about it, they used... and speaking of bad CGI, is his, like, breath that you can see in the ice cave is the... they just ripped it from Titanic. From Leonardo DiCaprio's breath when he's like floating in the water or whatever, and they just
used the same effect.
And not even that, they literally fully like took like the breath that like that man was breathing and like chopped it and screwed it and fucking put it in. I don't know how they do it. I don't know enough about CGI to speak about this in a smart way, but yeah, they basically copy and pasted it into this movie because they always said we need an effect.
Wow.
But
yeah, the whole fucking
I remember
caves. I don't know. It was just fucking stupid. This movie's stupid.
Yeah, that one was pretty dumb. I will say that. I don't know. The thing that like rubbed me the wrong way about this was the fact that I feel like there are definitely those men that would like squat in that house, in that absolutely foul, nasty, and disgusting house. And would be like, yeah, this is the life, man. And I'm sitting there, and I'm seeing Marla go over and get naked and fucking it. I'm like, bestie, you've got other things to worry about than getting STDs from that man. You gotta worry about getting, I don't even know, bacterial diseases from just being in that house.
Flesh-eating bacteria. And I keep thinking about, like, the things that happen on screen that are just arguably less offensive than an abortion line now, because I'm like, we watch her try to OD. Like, there's, like, a 15-minute long sequence of her literally, like, ODing on pills, and they're like, cut the abortion line.
She's like, yeah, I just took a whole bottle of Xanax. Isn't that so fun and fresh?
I'm so crazy. Also, again, just back to, I don't know, also in the book, she had, like, breast cancer and then had gotten over it. And that's why she kept going to the, like, support group meetings. And then there's that scene where she's like, oh, Ed Norton, I need you to come check me for lumps. And he, like, goes and he fills her up, and then he's like, no lumps. In the book, he finds a lump, and then I don't know if he, like, doesn't say anything to her, or if he tells her and then she decides to ignore it. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But it's, like, very much like Marla does kind of have a reason to be, like, going to these cancer support groups. So in the movie, I feel like we really don't get like that kind of fucking dumbed her down. She just more just like, right? It's just kind of like, she's so quirky.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I want to like Marla's character, but I'm like, dude, like you make it hard for me to root for you.
Yeah, I genuinely, the only person I think I was ever rooting for was Meatloaf. And I was rooting for him to make the right choice to not do the things he did, and then he just did it, so.
No, none of these characters are any that I found compelling.
Like, redeemable.
Yeah. But, hey, that's just me.
Except for when Ed Norton was beating himself up. I was like, you can keep on with that. I liked that scene when he was just beating the shit out of himself.
We'll let that slide.
Right? Like, you do you.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, my biggest problem with this movie is the big reveal of the twist, basically, like, in Act 3, where they're like, guess what? Tyler Durden? More like Ed Norton. And... and they do the thing that... I think this is also one of the reasons why I hated the Joker so much, the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, which is like another male manipulator movie, which we will not be covering because I absolutely refuse to ever sit through that again. I just can't. I just cannot. But, you know, in Joker, when they do the big reveal that, like, his whole relationship he's built with his neighbor is, like, a figment of his imagination, and they go through, like, a 10-minute montage sequence of, like, him thinking they're in the elevator together, and then it's just him alone in the elevator, like basically just rehashing. This is how I felt about this fucking reveal that they're the same guy. It's like, let's replay every scene of the movie in a montage where we're just gonna cut out Brad Pitt and make you realize that it was just all in his head. I'm like, you don't have to fucking
you can just
hit
tell
me over the head.
Just
with
tell
it. Like,
me.
Right. They could have done one scene to imply that whole thing. As I'm like, why do I feel like I'm being talked down to? And again, some stan could be like, well, actually, that's on purpose to be ironic, to criticize society because we live in one. No hate to anyone who likes Fight Club. I can see the merits of it being a fun movie that's like fun to watch or something, but it just like wasn't for me. And especially this big twist that was like the thing that supposedly made this movie so great was this like big twist that I already knew. Is that when it happened, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? No, I don't give a shit. Like, stop talking to me like I'm stupid. Like, I don't need to rewatch the whole movie sans Brad Pitt. His low-rise jeans were the only thing keeping me invested anyways.
I was holding on for dear life by his belt loops. Yeah, no, that's one of those things. It's like, whenever I watch this, I'm like, should I ask a man what they think about this? Where's Henry?
I know, right? I think he didn't hate it as much as I did, but I don't think he particularly like loves
I do wonder.
He just is kind of neutral about it.
Because my whole takeaway from this movie is just like that line, like, oh, the masculine urge to beat someone up, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, is that? I do wonder if like that is one of those things about guys that like why men do like this movie is because they've been in a scenario where it's like, yeah, I just want to beat my friends up.
Right. I actually did ask Henry because we watched this together, and I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm just like not a violent person or if it's because I'm a woman or like what, but I'm like, is this a universal male feeling that you want to like hit something? And he was like, not like yes and no, and like kind of, but I'm like, I genuinely have never ever felt the desire to hit another person other than to be funny. Like you know, like I mean, not that hitting people is funny, but I mean, like, as, like, a joking, joking comedic way.
Like, you...
But, like, I've never,
like,
even people...
hit me and punched my contacts out before. Exactly.
And that was hilarious.
It's for the jokes.
I slapped Emily's contacts out when
like
we
14.
were in, I think, junior high. Yeah, we were, like, in junior high, and I, like, jokingly was going to slap you, but, like, you were just a little bit closer than I thought.
Perception
so, like,
was
my
off.
fingertips grazed your fucking cornea for some reason, and I, like, swiped your contact lenses out of your eye. Honestly, I've never done anything as dexterous in my whole life. And
it was genuinely just impressive to a certain point.
But, like, even people I have despised, and people who have wronged me, and, like, or just somebody, I don't know, I've never, ever felt the urge to like beat the shit out of another person. I just don't.
Interesting. Do you feel like that's one of those things, like that's a guy thing, and females just scheme? I feel like we scheme instead.
Scheme.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just talking about my My reality.
A female remake of this movie, but then it's just like her inner monologue of her being like, fuck that stupid fucking cunt, blah blah blah, but like smiling and like being really friendly and like not actually ever doing anything about it.
No, a female version of this, but it's just Emily Blunt from The Devil Wears Prada, and that's our main character.
No, but I want like so if Tyler Durden is like the apex of like masculinity, if we're doing a gender bent remake of this, I want the fictitious alter ego to be one of the fucking cock destroyers. That's what I want. It's like just me going about my daily life, like getting diagnosed for a sleep disorder, and then just being like, oh, a fucking cock destroyer.
Yeah, who would you cast as your Tyler Durden is the real...
Yeah, like, literally, what are their names? Sophie and...
I don't know. Yeah, that's ours.
I don't know their names. Yeah, the cock destroyers.
Those are ours. You get one and I'll get the other.
But also, as a person with a sleep disorder, I have to tell you, Brad Pitt does not show up. Brad Pitt does not show up when he has a sleep disorder.
You just can't win.
I was like, my alter ego is just like myself, but I do stand-up. She just like follows me with a mic, and she's just like doing bad stand-up, and I'm having to be like, oh, shut the fuck up. That's my like mental, that's my like, you know.
Yeah, she's just constantly bombing.
Hey fellas, is it gay to want to fuck your imaginary friend who also is Brad Pitt? I think yes. All right, back at it again with another chocolate or vanilla game hosted by my lovely mother, Jen. It's you just say two things. Which one do you like better? Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty okay.
Not too bad. Decent. Certainly decent.
And is there a theme this week?
So there is a theme. It has nothing to do with Fight Club or anything like Fight Club.
Perfect.
I feel like we need this break in the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like lately I've been talking to so many people about biopics because there are just so many like current and upcoming. So this is a biopic round.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. And if you haven't seen them, just the idea of that person playing somebody.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al or Emma Watson as Nikki in The Bling Ring?
Daniel Radcliffe is gonna be Weird Al?
Yeah, it's in production.
Yes.
Oh, I'm obsessed with that. Absolutely. Absolutely Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. I have no need. There's no need for a Weird Al biopic, and yet take my money. Like, yes.
As much as I do love the idea of that, and I can't wait to fucking see it, that's probably one of my favorite performances by Emma Watson, is her in The Bling Ring. Gotta love a bimbo. I think she was outstanding, and that movie is so just funny and so slept on. So I'll go with that one. I'll go with Emma.
Okay, I'll go with Emma too, just because obviously I've seen that. Haven't seen Weird Al because it's not out yet, but I think he's going to be awesome as Weird Al. I don't love biopics about people who are still alive, but
yes,
yeah, but there's a lot of them. All right, next, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers or Tom Hanks as Mr. Banks in Saving Mr. Banks?
I haven't seen either of those, but I'll go with Mr. Banks because I felt like there was a pretty solid Mr. Rogers documentary that came out, and then they like rode the success and immediately just made a biopic, and I'm like, there was no need. I don't know. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I also haven't seen either of these ones. But I feel like Tom Hanks could do a very good Mr. Rogers, so I'd like to see that one more, I think. So I'll go with the Mr. Rogers one.
Yeah, I'll go with Mr. Rogers also. I mean, he looked just like him, right? With the sweater and the sneakers. Mm-hmm. And also Tom Hanks, man, he is the biopic king. He's played a lot of different people.
Sully,
yeah,
the one with
like Sully,
The Post.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The Captain Phillips. Yep. Apollo 13, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. All right. Next, Daniel Day-Lewis as Abe Lincoln or Cynthia Erivo as Harriet Tubman?
Cynthia.
Did you hear that? Well, I don't know. It's not confirmed yet, but Joe Alwyn, who plays the bad guy in that movie, him and Taylor Swift just got engaged.
Really?
Yeah.
So says the tabloids. They haven't had made a statement or anything, but I think they've been seen Yeah,
I believe
good.
I believe that's true. Yeah, I'm happy for her.
I'm also gonna go with Cynthia for this one because that was just a beautiful performance.
Yeah, same for the sweep, Cynthia. Epic performance. Christian Bale as Dick Cheney or Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck Gary Oldman and fuck that fucking boring movie that I had to sit through. And I really liked Vice, and I really liked him as Dick Cheney. I thought that the makeup and body transformation, I think he looked just fucking like him, and I don't know. I really liked that movie a lot, so I'll go with Christian Bale.
Yeah, I'll also have to go with Christian Bale. I just think he's just so genuinely impressive the way he transforms himself for every fucking role. Just stellar. So I'll go for him.
Yeah, same. I'll go for Vice, Christian Bale. Margot Robbie in I, Tonya or Taron Egerton in Eddie the Eagle?
Not Taron Egerton as fucking Elton John.
Yeah, for real.
Not that just softball right there.
Olympic theme.
Well,
Fair.
that's still a biopic.
Yeah, but Olympic
Yeah,
theme.
I know.
Oh, Olympic theme. Okay, well, it's got to be Margot Robbie as
Yeah.
I, Tonya. That movie was fucking crazy.
Outstanding. It's Margot all the way.
I agree she was outstanding, but I would pick Taron every time over anybody and anything.
I saw a really good tweet recently that it was like, I would be terrified to be a pop star in modern day because what if Taron Egerton covers your song as a gorilla in one of those Sing movies and absolutely bodies you?
No, really.
Same. All right, next is Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles or Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin.
Oh, that one's pretty new, right? The Aretha Franklin one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I also haven't seen the Ray Charles movie, so I guess I feel like I heard something about him, really learning to play piano or something. I don't know. I've heard good things about Jamie Foxx as an actor that have come from the success of that movie, so I guess I'll pick that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of the movie. It's one of those ones I've seen, bits and pieces, but it was still really great, so I'll go for Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, same. I think he might have won Best Actor for that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Next one is Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg or Kristen Stewart as Diana Spencer.
Kristen Stewart as Diana Spencer. I literally didn't like that movie. I did not enjoy it. I thought she did a good performance, but overall I found it difficult to watch and very boring. But I will never commend Jesse Eisenberg in any way, shape, or form, and I will always commend Kristen Stewart. So
Yeah, don't love that guy. He just seems like a mean person. But Kristen Stewart, I do think her accent was phenomenal. So I'll give it to Kristen.
Yeah, I'll give it to Kristen too. She was that movie was weird, but I don't know if I thought she was good, but she was definitely memorable.
I'll tell you what, is her wigs weren't. Her wigs were not good.
I think they channeled the style of her though.
Channeled,
No?
but I don't think they hit it on the head.
Agreed. All right, next one, Will Smith as in King Richard as Richard Williams or Will Smith as Muhammad Ali in Ali.
I've never seen Ali, but I fucking hated that movie. We saw it in the theaters, again, far too long. I don't care. Biopics about people who are still alive. It wasn't even about fucking Serena and Venus, who are the actual, interesting characters. It was just, about their dad, who was, fine, I guess, but just, I don't know. That movie was not it for me. I also don't like sports. So there's that. So I guess I'll pick him in boxing doesn't count though, because that's different, I think. Boxing movies don't count as sports movies because $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, of course. I'll just go. I haven't seen either of these yet, but I'll just go for Ali because I sort of on the same train as Dara. I think boxing is more interesting than tennis. So
yeah, same. I'll take Will Smith and Ali. So I was thinking a little off topic, but the Oscar noms are so long this year. The best pictures are
there's 10 of them.
yeah, and they're
each 5 hours long.
So I added it up.
exhausting.
I added up the time, and if you see them all, it's 23 hours and 17 minutes.
Christ.
Wow, that's a whole day of my life that I'm dedicating to this award show that I fucking despise.
And I'll still do it.
Yeah, right.
Gotta do it.
And you'll see me tweeting every day for the fan favorite for fucking Pig and justice for Nicolas Cage. Even though I think this fan favorite thing is fucking stupid, I'm still gonna tweet in for Pig. Even though I know everyone's gonna do fucking Spider-Man or whatever. They'll get 1% of the votes will be from me alone, and it'll be for Pig.
Next one is Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye Baker or Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball.
I haven't seen either of those movies, but I do love that Nicole Kidman AMC ad, so I'll pick her.
Yeah, I have zero desire to see the Tammy Faye movie, but I have the tiniest little smidge of desire to see the Lucille one, so I'll say Nicole as Lucille.
Yeah, I saw them both, and I liked the being the Ricardos one, and I thought Jessica did a really good job as Tammy Faye. Like, it definitely kept my interest. I'll put it that way. She was like absurd.
Low bar. If a movie just keeps your interest, that's a low bar.
But I will take Nicole Kidman. And this is the last one. So Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can or Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street.
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He honestly. just be playing guys.
Just be playing real guys. Yeah. So that was it. It was a short one, but that was my
what about you,
biopic.
Jen? Wolf of Wall Street or...
I said, yeah, I would definitely say Catch Me If I Can. Yeah. Such a good movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but that's it. That's a short chocolate or vanilla on biopics.
I'm trying to think if I have like a favorite biopic, but nothing really comes to mind. Yeah. I think it's just kind of, I don't know.
I was looking it up and like 25 different actors have played JFK. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, oh, there's definitely some historical figures who I think come up more often than others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, the Chappaquiddick movie
starring
what's his name playing Ted Kennedy. I used to work at a Ted Kennedy museum, and on your first day of training they told you that you were not allowed to talk about Chappaquiddick and you were not allowed to talk about the movie because it was coming out. It was like in theaters at the time I worked there, and they were like, if anyone tries to talk to you about the Chappaquiddick movie, you need to shut that conversation down. And I was like, I'm 19. Like, I don't know what to respond to that with. But anyways, thanks, Jen, as always, for a lovely round of chocolate or vanilla. Thanks for giving us a little break from our exhausting conversation about how much we really don't like Fight Club that much. So, as always, it was a pleasure. And we appreciate you.
Okay. I love you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
I feel like I was just thinking about that Robert Pattinson photo shoot pretty recently. I think it was for GQ,
yeah, it was.
But maybe I'm wrong. But where he was literally dressed like fucking Tyler Durden. Like,
I loved it.
The whole time I was watching this, I was like, damn, I wish that was our Pats. Like in those like little like razor sunglasses.
It was outstanding. Probably one of my favorite photo shoots that I've seen in a very long time.
So good. Don't you think that looked just like him though? I was like,
yeah, 100%. The spiky hair too.
Our Pats.
Yeah, that was just
right, like the bleached.
I was gonna
tips.
say that's just if you mix Jared Leto's character in this with
yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at my notes right now, and the one that stands out to me says, I like Fincher movies. I really like a lot of them. And usually they just kind of make me think, but this one makes me want to take my brain out, put it in the washing machine, and throw it on spin cycle until it's just goo.
Right, smooth brain. I want to be smooth brained after this movie. No, I can understand. Like, I love a good critique of capitalism. Don't get me wrong. Fuck the system. Like let's talk about it and let's make movies about it. Whatever. But I just I didn't like the layers and layers of subtext that I had to read through in order to feel like I was accurately getting the message. Because it was like, this is what we're presenting to you, which is what it is on a surface level. But then there's a message hidden behind that. And then behind that message, there's another layer of subtext that it's like if you fall into the wrong zone, you don't get it. And there's like 15 layers and it's just like every other one and you're just bound to land somewhere. That's how I felt about this. At any given moment, I'm like, I could either be getting this or not getting this.
I think,
but like,
I kind of wish that I watched this movie like I was actually, well, I was alive in 1999, but like I was like a functioning human and not a baby.
Hardly.
I wish that, like, I could have watched this in the 90s, because I think the timeline and the time period that this came out is a lot different than, like, seeing it now and everything like that. Because now, like, having, like, a big anti-capitalist movie and all that shit is nothing groundbreaking whatsoever. And so watching this just feels, I don't know, like, not half-assed, but it's like, oh, yeah, okay, like, whatever. But, like, watching this in, like, 99, like, yeah, no, I can understand why this is, definitely regarded as, an insanely good movie. But
yeah, and especially like visual filmmaking, I think it's really nice to look at. I loved the scenes where it was like Ed Norton walking through his apartment and we get all the names of every IKEA furniture he owns. Like, I thought that was great. The little, like, just like the beautiful shots of him getting like prepackaged meals on flights. Like, I thought, and even just like the color grading, I usually am not here for like an Instagram filter on a movie, but I did like the like slightly greenish, gritty kind of color grading they did on this. I don't know. I thought it fit. I thought it was nice. I thought the costumes were great. I thought the editing was nice. Other than the length, basically. I think that's a really good point. I do think that in 1999, this would be, especially if you are the kind of person whose beliefs kind of align with that, if you were quote unquote someone who got it, who was like, oh, this is a big criticism about, like, you know, toxic masculinity and consumerism, capitalism, whatever. I think if you got it and it was 1999, yes, I think this could have a very big impact. But I think the culture that has stemmed from it, literally, the first thing I think of when I hear Fight Club is, like, dude bros being like, don't say it. The movie that you can't talk about. It's like adult Harry Potter fans who still, it's like, he who will not be named. It's fucking Voldemort. Like, let's just talk about the characters and the thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe that makes me an asshole for, like, not letting people enjoy things. But I'm like, if you're gonna be a dick about, like, people saying Fight Club because it's a plot line that you're not supposed to talk about it, that shows me that you didn't get it. Because clearly the point is that you do talk about Fight Club. Is that you tell your friends about it and that they join so that you can be a fucking fashy dude bro army. Like, that's the whole point of Fight Club. So if you are out here in the real world telling people not to say it, then you should fucking watch the movie again. That's or not, or like never watch another film in your life.
Yeah, you have two options.
Like, even when I was like reading letterboxd reviews about this, there were people who would like censor out like F star
like
C
shut
star, and I'm just like, stop. I'm like,
I get it. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I'm sure it, like back when it came out, like, I get it, funny joke, good, great, but like, dude, come on, it's like 23 years later, I'm begging you.
This also, like, this came out after 7, which to me, like, 7 feels more mature in its filmmaking choices. Not that I have any grounds to critique David Fincher, like,
after Mank, I don't know. After Mank, you might.
Maybe he's just cashing in. He just wants like another house or something. I'd like to think that he didn't mean that one, but I don't know. Just I have no position to critique him because I've never made a movie. So what does my opinion mean? But the movie 7 to me feels like a more mature, well-developed, more thought out. If you not knowing what years these came out, you told me to like put David Fincher films in chronological order by how I feel like the trajectory of his like growth of filmmaking was, I would put this before 7. You know what I mean? Like learned, not mistakes, but like learned from this and then developed a more intriguing. I think the kind of toxic masculinity we see in Brad Pitt's character in 7 is way more intriguing than we see in anybody in Fight Club. And that's not even really the point of 7. I mean, it is a little bit, but like it's not like the focal point of the whole fucking film. Whereas it is with this one, and I'm just like, maybe it was just too heavy-handed for me, that's all.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's one of those things. It was so heavy-handed.
Which I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it had to be, and maybe it came across better as a book.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I did...
Because, like, because you can be really heavy-handed like that when you're writing, because you're not, like, literally shoving shit in people's faces, you know?
One thing I did really like about this movie was the soap plot point.
The masculine urge to start an Etsy shop. That's what
you and your boy.
If men should take away anything from this.
It's not about you and your bros fighting each other. It's you and your boyfriend becoming Etsy sellers and fucking making soap
together. squatting in an abandoned house and just making some soap. I recoiled in the scene where they were stealing the human flesh, the human waste, and they made soap out of it. I was like,
that was a lot.
No.
That's like we can't even have one nice thing, which is them making soap. Is we have to see the fat spill out of a fucking waste bag.
But my impression of, like, because the movie poster is, like, him holding a bar of soap that says Fight Club on it, and I always just thought it was, like, a gay thing. I thought it was like a don't drop the soap during Fight Club or else we'll fuck your ass. Yeah. Like that's literally what I thought it was. Because I knew there was going to be some, like, homoerotic subtext because, like, I've seen the Tumblr gift sets of the, like, slow-mo, you know, gift sets of Brad Pitt in this movie. Like, I knew what we were getting into was going to be a little bit gay. But I really didn't think when he meets him on the plane, he's like, yeah, I'm a soap salesman.
Him fucking opening up the briefcase and it's just bars and bars and bars of soap. I was like, okay.
This is clearly a pre-9/11 film, because they would not let you have that on the plane these days.
No, like, watching the scene where the plane gets ripped in half, like, I was gonna say, I'm flying soon. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Me too. I've never been on a plane by myself before.
Really? Yeah, where are you going?
I'm going to Texas, which actually, so I'm going to Texas to go to South by Southwest, which has a film festival, and I'm really excited to report back here. I'm hopefully going to see some cool movies. I'm going to see the new A24, Everything Everywhere All at Once on its, like, release.
That looks so good.
Like pre-release. So I'm going to get to see a bunch of, like, festival type films, like, on their, so hopefully I'll have a little bit of tea to spill for you guys here on, like, what's good and what's worth watching in the upcoming, like, months or whatever. I'm going there for school and I'm supposed to be, like, networking, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go watch movies. That Nicolas Cage one, like, The Unbearable Weight of Immense Talent or whatever, I'll probably go watch that one just because it's, like,
that's
stupid
amazing
and funny. But yeah, hopefully
I'll
report back with some tea and insights on
please do
new movies.
I was gonna say I'm not doing anything nearly as cool, but I am going to England to visit my brother's studying abroad.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to visit, if anyone in London or I think we're spending time in Worcester, any Swamp listeners want to, I don't know, host me, let's watch a movie. I'll come over. We can
go to the pub, and isn't the food in the UK, like, what the fuck is haggis? Like, I don't
think that's UK. I think that's Scottish. Well, I mean, that is UK.
That is in the UK. Yeah, not
that is,
England.
but that's, no. I'm excited. I want to try a Scotch egg.
I was just gonna say that, or, like, beans on toast. Beans for breakfast, that is a harsh way to start your day, but props to you. That's what they've substituted coffee with instead of, like, having they drink tea. They drink tea, not coffee, but they're like, beans.
Instead of, like, having your morning coffee and then, like, followed up by your morning poop, it's beans and then your morning poop.
Literally a can of beans on some fucking white bread. I've never been to the UK, though. I've never really been anywhere. I've never really been out of the country too much. So if we want to do a world tour of the swamp, we can come visit our 3 listeners that are in
I'll tell you what, I'll be throwing up stickers everywhere I go.
Yes! Somebody, I put them up so much. I had it on my laptop, and somebody in one of my classes was like, what is that? I see those around everywhere. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's just me, like, defacing every surface. I'm like, oh, that's just because I go to school here, and also this is my podcast, and I have a lot of stickers for it. Like, don't tell on me.
But if you guys ever want any stickers, check out our merch on is it on Etsy?
Yeah, the link will be in the description below for all our stuff. We've got, like, crew necks and mugs and a lot of other cool stuff. We can literally, like, we can get, like, bras and, like, sweatpants made for you guys if you want. I don't know who the fuck would want to swamp like sweatpants, but I
heart the swamp across the ass.
Right, that's the velour tracksuits.
Yeah, so we're working on that.
Across the ass. Yeah, that's gotta be.
Yeah, something. Maybe we should start selling soap.
Soap. What would it smell like? A bog. Like dry gin and also dirt. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know when products are, like, for men, like soap for men, and they're like, this smells like dirt. And I'm like, that's the opposite of what soap should be.
Yeah.
this smells like man musk. I'm like, no, that's what we're trying to cover.
Lawn clippings.
I will say, I do use men's deodorant, though, because I just find that, like, quote-unquote women's scents are not strong enough for my stank. No. They're like, this smells like powder and baby's breath. And I'm like, no, I literally need, like, hardcore man shit to, like...
Oh, yeah. I use the fucking Old Spice, but not the Fiji... Not the Fiji kind. That's too... I can't be that person. I was like, I'm queer enough. They don't need to...
I have one that's called, like... It's called, like, Bear Claw or, like, Kraken Glove or something like that. There's also one called Swagger. That's pretty... I don't know. Henry and I just buy them in bulk and we share them. But yeah, men's deodorant. That's where it's at. Aw. So cute.
But anyways, do we want to, if we're done with, I mean, I don't know how much more Fight Club you want to talk about, but I want to talk about who I want to fuck.
Oh, all I had to really say was that I really think I overcame something as a person, and, like, I haven't really had a hard life.
You texted me after watching this and you said, I'm producing testosterone now.
No, not really anything to do with this film, more just something to do specifically with Ed Norton.
Okay.
Is that I, like, really think I don't think I have particularly good taste. Like, I like a lot of things that are bad, but I think I have enough good taste to really say that I overcame something because my parents raised me to believe that The Italian Job was the greatest film ever made. We watched that movie, I think, like, bi-weekly in my house growing up. I've never seen it. I've seen The Italian Job. Maybe it's, like, literally just the most cliche, like, every heist movie ever. They made an AI bot watch 1 million hours of heist movies and it spit out The Italian Job. Like, that's what that is. It's starring fucking Mark Wahlberg. It's just like, it's just not that good of a movie. Like, Jen's gonna listen to this, and I know it's gonna break her heart, but my parents literally love The Italian Job, and growing up, I literally thought it was my favorite movie because I just assumed that something that you've seen 800 times is your favorite movie. And so, but Ed Norton plays, like, the bad guy, basically, in The Italian Job. So to me, he's always just that guy from The Italian Job, who's not really that different from this character. Ed Norton really just always is that guy, so I don't know. But anyways, I just wanted to announce to everyone that I've overcome the Italian Job's presence in my life.
Thank God.
I can now say that I have opinions that are somewhat decent.
If we ever do a month of our favorite movies, I expect The Italian Job to be on.
No.
Speaking of Ed Norton, would you fuck him or marry him, or would you kill him? Because there's obviously a big three for this movie. Yeah. And I think that's the only, I mean.
HBC, Ed Norton, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we're gonna have similar stances.
I've never wanted to fuck Ed Norton. Like, I do not think he's sexually attractive, but that scene where he is beating himself up gave me a little something.
Interesting.
I'm like, this is kind of hot. What does that say about me? I don't know. I think that maybe says something more about, like, my mental state than anything.
Maybe just your taste. The self-destructive type? I don't know.
But I'm obviously going to kill him because, you know,
it's just, he doesn't hold a candle to either of the others.
And then I think Marla's, like, a little, but, like, can I marry Tyler Durden knowing that he's not a real person?
We're gonna, yes.
Can I marry the idea of a person?
Yes.
Can I?
In this context, yes.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna marry Tyler Durden because then he can just be my imaginary fascist dude bro friend who just, like, hangs around and, like, gives me bad advice, which is, like, basically my life already. And I'm gonna fuck Helena Bonham Carter because she seems like a good time. I don't know.
See, I'm gonna flip-flop that. Obviously, I'm killing Edward Norton. But I don't think I could deal with a life with Tyler Durden. But I could deal with, like, 30 minutes of him. So I'm gonna fuck him. Do you hear the way they were making fucking Helena Bonham Carter moan? I think I can deal with that. So I'm obviously gonna marry Helena because it's her. She's a lot. She is a lot, though. I'm gonna have my work cut out for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be instantly overwhelmed, but I still think I would prefer her to any of the other characters present in this scenario.
And honestly, I do not feel the need to open it up to the whole film because I can't tell you the name of a single other character other than jump scare Jared Leto and Meatloaf.
Yeah,
and they're just not really part of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you eat or drink for this? What did you eat and drink for this?
So, I think we had fried chicken sandwiches. Well, we ate this, which was really good. In reality, that's what my situation was. But I thought that this was like a clever little idea that I have for the cocktail. You make something with like elderflower liqueur or like rose water or like something
soap?
really
like soapy?
soapy. You should make like a botanical cocktail based off of soap.
That's really cute.
Right? So you can do like soap. I mean, it shouldn't taste like soap, but just kind of the vibe of like lavender. Get lavender in there or something. It's like some sprigs of mint. I don't know. It could be cute.
I like that.
Because
I like that.
Basically, I was like, you either have to go one way or the other of like
I went the other way.
The most bro thing, which is like warm beer, or the most like fucking feminine. Like drink a fucking Cosmo while you watch this movie to just like embrace the, I don't know.
I was on the other end of the spectrum, and I went for the low hanging fruit here. And I think it's not even a cocktail, but I guess just put vodka in this. I feel like you need to drink a Bang Energy. Just put some vodka in a Bang Energy, or like make your own moonshine in your basement or some shit.
Yeah, like a Red Bull, like a vodka Red Bull.
No,
I think would also be perfect.
No,
too classy.
That's too much. I think it needs to be like a Bang Energy. Or have you ever had like one of those rain drinks or whatever?
No, I don't.
It's just another like fucked up energy drink, but literally just a Monster.
Yeah, a blue Monster, not even the green one, the blue one.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the parallel thing to eat with this is just to chew on a battery.
A hot dog, I feel like could be good.
The thing that has stood out to me is I don't feel like you don't get to have foods that like match for this. So if you're going my route, and you're having like a Bang Energy with some fucking vodka in it or something, I think you make yourself or get like a fucking can of clam chowder because here's the thing is it's ordered. No, Marla orders it in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which happens.
They say do not order the clam chowder.
Don't order the clam chowder. But also this is the farthest thing from a comfort movie to me, and that is my discomfort food is clam chowder. So that's like my pairing.
Those like Campbell's soups that are like chunky in like the font that's like for men, and it's like basically it's like soup for boys. Basically, it's like Campbell's chunky, and all the commercials are like football players being like, regular soup just doesn't cut it for a guy like me. You should, out of the can, Campbell's like chunky minestrone.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even say those words without like...
You eat it shirtless so that when it drips on you, it's...
Yeah, or like chili, like a sloppy Joe, I think could be.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good.
Like a sloppy Joe, or like not a hot dog, but like a kielbasa, like a thick. You want a thick phallic piece of meat to eat with this movie. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Or also, okay, I don't know if this makes any sense, but just eat a whole box of cereal. Get like a shitty.
What kind of cereal?
Like Lucky Charms or like Reese's Puffs.
You do the really shitty thing and you eat like 90% of just the marshmallows.
Yes, because when they're living in that house, it reminds me of the same sort of struggle of like when you eat cereal for all 3 meals of the day.
Yeah,
like when you finish your day and you're like, all I ate today was mini wheats. Like, and it just doesn't feel good. It's like when you've hit a mental low, when you're like, I finished an entire box of fucking Fruity Pebbles. Mm-hmm. And that's it for the whole day.
Your stomach's still grumbling, but there's nothing else you can do about it because you've hit your limit.
That's how this movie makes me feel.
Interesting.
I think you should wear your bathrobe too while you watch it.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. What are you watching after this? Because I've got a very concrete answer.
Okay, I have like a loose handful, so you can go first.
So I think this is a movie that you can't watch anything even remotely close to the same thing afterwards. If you want to watch a fucking another David Fincher movie, you scare the fuck out of me. And I think this was said by, I don't know if it was, David Fincher himself, or I think it might have been the writer of the book, is that, like, certain types of people have their movies, and this is, like, a movie for dude bros. But he gave the example of, like, women have the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And I think you follow this movie up with Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, because it is just the exact opposite of this. And that's what I want, and that's what I need.
But yet so similar. Like,
exactly.
They are different, yet they are the same. I love that. No, I totally agreed. This whole time I was like, I wish I was watching Seven, but like, gun to my head, I would not start Seven after finishing this movie, you know? I like, in my heart, I'm like, damn, wish I was watching Seven, but like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna turn around and do it. My few ideas that I had were, I brought up earlier, that fucking penguin, watch Happy Feet. Like, watch another poorly animated early 2000s movie about penguins, and fucking watch Happy Feet, or like maybe
watch
like March of the
Pingu.
Penguins.
Have you ever watched Pingu?
Yeah, isn't it from like Sweden or something?
It's like
Somewhere
a
in
European.
Europe.
It's like it was like
So
I don't-
cute.
Yeah, that was what I was doing 2 days ago when I was hungover out of my mind. Is me and my roommates all sat down and put on Pingu and just laid on the floor.
I love that. Yeah, I'd say that either watch a penguin movie or just watch a critique on capitalism / consumerism movie that's just better than this. So you could do Parasite, you could do Sorry to Bother You, or you could do my pick of these three, Spirited Away. I think Spirited Away is kind of a anti-consumerist movie, a little bit. I don't know, maybe not as much as the other two. But
You're right. I would love to cover Spirited Away sometimes. I'm surprised we haven't done any Miyazaki films yet.
But that would be, just watch a better, like, critique on capitalism movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
Any of
I
those
like
three are good to
I
go.
like that a lot.
And so thank you all for joining us for Male Manipulator March. I'm sorry if you really like Fight Club. I promise this wasn't a personal attack against you. I just don't like it. But then
What
again,
would
would I rate this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I was gonna say, I think I gave it two stars on Letterboxd, so I think that equates to, like, I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 for, like, we got to see Brad Pitt's, like, Mons Pubis area a lot, which was really good for me.
Yeah. Full Frontal would have pushed it up to, like, a 6, but
there was so much cock in this movie. There was so much, like, penis. There was a lot of full frontal penis happening in this. Not from Brad, but you know when he clips...
He's splicing
But it happens in the film. They're, like, subliminally flashing penises at you for, like, every 10 minutes in the movie. Yeah, I felt like I was having, like, a fucking epilepsy episode. Was that a seizure? I felt like I was seizing because there was, like, flashing. And it was because that they actually, like, spliced in, like, cock into the movie to be like, this is what Tyler Durden did, so this is what we're doing.
That's funny.
So, yeah, there's just, like, a lot of soft dick in this movie. But yeah, I'll give it like a 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm sorry if you really like Fight Club.
It's just not for me.
Couldn't be us. And I think we're achieving our goal here of Male Manipulator March being a negative. We're both just really gonna talk a lot of shit this month, I think, about movies that a lot of people like. And I'm not claiming to be smart or that my opinion is right, but I am just gonna say it into this microphone. So
who's gonna stop me?
Yeah, right.
David Fincher comes on. He's like,
oh my god.
You.
Honestly, I don't even know what I would say. I'd be like, what was up with Mank, dude? Can we hash that out real quick?
Yeah, really.
What the fuck was up with Mank?
I'll give you Fight Club, but Mank, dog. Anyways.
But yeah, thank y'all for listening. We love you, and you're awesome. Links to all of our shit in the description below. Merch. and social media and DM us what you want us to do for this month and upcoming months. Themes, films, literally anything. If you're like, I need that swamp tracksuit that says swamp across the S, like maybe we can get that happening for some people. It just, there hasn't really been an uproar of support for it. So, I'm patiently standing by. And thank you all, as always, and goodbye and good night.